The movie starts in 1918, as World War I is nearing its end. We meet a girl named Pearl living in Texas with her mom and dad. The family used to live in Germany but has since moved to Texas. Pearl's husband is an army soldier who has gone off to fight in the war. Meanwhile, Pearl's father is completely paralyzed. His arms, legs, and body no longer function, so he just lies there helplessly. Pearl's mom manages the farm and the entire household. She tells Pearl that as their only daughter, it's her responsibility to take care of the whole farm. You need to take good care of it. We learn that Pearl is very fond of theater. Whenever she gets the chance, she sneaks out to watch performances. Pearl is also passionate about becoming a dancer. She's so enthusiastic that she dreams of dancing with a troupe someday. She has tried to tell her mom about this many times, but each time her mom refuses, saying, "No, I don't want this. Give up your hobby because I need you to take care of the farm and look after your sick father." Pearl thinks her dream is really big, but her family and the farm are getting in the way. This causes her a lot of mental distress. As a result, whenever she gets the chance, she takes out her frustration by killing the animals on the farm. Additionally, she would mistreat her father when she was feeding him. Besides these troubling habits, she was also struggling with addiction. She used to smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, and take various drugs. Pearl was dealing with mental distress, feeling incredibly lonely. Whenever she felt this way, she would read the letters from her husband. Despite her busy schedule, Pearl managed to make time for both her work and her passion. After finishing her farm chores, she would go to watch theater. One day, she met the theater director, who couldn't take his eyes off her. He found her incredibly beautiful and struck up a conversation with Pearl. During their chat, Pearl revealed her deep love for dancing and her dream of becoming a dancer. The director responded, saying that if she was so passionate about it, she could watch a show on him, free of charge. Pearl declined, saying she'd prefer to watch the show later, as she was a bit shy. The director encouraged her, saying he believed she could become a great dancer. He told her not to be shy and handed her a reel of film from the camera saying, "Keep this from me." Pearl mentioned to the director that her husband was away fighting in the war. After saying this, she went home, feeling very happy. That day, she went to her fields and approached the scarecrow. She went to the scarecrow and started dancing with it. However, when she felt the space was too small and she wasn't enjoying the dance, she took the scarecrow down and danced with it more freely. She became so immersed in the dance that it felt like she was truly dancing with another person. She moved as if she were part of a couple, completely lost in the experience. Suddenly, Pearl began to see the director's face on the scarecrow, which shocked her momentarily. But she quickly resumed dancing, losing herself in the sensation. It became clear that Pearl's mental state was deteriorating. Her obsession had driven her to madness. After dancing for a while, she returned home. Because she was late coming home that day, her mom was very upset and scolded her harshly. During dinner, Pearl's mom asked, "The money I gave you is missing 8 cents. Where did you spend it? I want an explanation." Pearl didn't respond and continued to eat happily, ignoring her mother's questions. Her mom didn't like Pearl's response, so she pulled the plate away from her and said, "You're not understanding? I'm asking you about the missing money. Give me an account of it, or you won't get any food tonight." Pearl still didn't answer. Angrily, she got up and left the table. She had spent the money at the theater that day, where her favorite show, featuring her favorite dance, was playing. The next day, Pearl's sister-in-law arrived. She looked very beautiful and her attire suggested that she came from a well-to-do family. She told Pearl that in 2 days, there would be an audition at a church. Many girls would be dancing and performing, and the best dancers would be selected. The chosen dancer would get the opportunity to tour 7 cities. Pearl was thrilled to hear this news, her eyes widening with excitement. She was eager to attend the audition and showcase her dancing skills, hoping it would help her become the dancer she's always dreamed of being. Her sister-in-law then mentioned that she had also come to give an audition but hadn't told anyone about it. Pearl replied, "I also want to participate in the audition. I'm eager to try out." Her sister-in-law agreed, saying, "Okay, you can come too, but don't tell anyone." After her sister-in-law left, Pearl was overjoyed, as she saw this as her chance to fulfill her long-held dream. That night, Pearl went to the theater and spoke with the director. She told him, "I have an audition coming up, but I'm not confident about dancing in front of others since I've never done it before. I want to succeed, but I don't have the courage. I'm worried that things might not turn out as I hope." The director reassured her, saying, "Don't lose heart. I believe you'll do very well at the audition." He was working to boost her confidence and instill hope. Additionally, he showed her a film that wasn't allowed in theaters at that time due to its controversial nature. It wasn't suitable for children. His purpose was solely to boost her confidence. The director also emphasized, "Never give up on your dreams. Always keep pursuing them with the belief that one day you will achieve them. You must be willing to do whatever it takes." Pearl responded, "I want the same, but I can't leave my family to fulfill my dream. They need me." After saying this, Pearl returned home. That night, she looked at her husband's pictures, missing him deeply. She thought, in this difficult time, I really need my husband, who isn't here. At the same time, she couldn't help but feel selfish, thinking that her family was getting in the way of her dreams, so she wished for something to happen so that they would die. The next day, she took her dad to a lake where there was also a crocodile. She brought the wheelchair to the edge of the lake, and it seemed like she was planning to throw her dad into the water. Pearl hoped that the crocodile would eat her father, effectively killing him. However, just in time, her mom arrived. She had never fully trusted Pearl and had come to check on her. She was aware that her daughter had some troubling tendencies and could act unpredictably, so she always kept a close watch on her. Now, she told Pearl, "Let's leave here quickly and get your dad home right away." Pearl complied and brought her dad back home. That night, during dinner, her mom said, "I found a film poster in your room. I know you've been secretly going to the theater. But from now on this has to stop. You're not allowed to go to the theater anymore." At that time, going to the theater, dancing, and watching performances were considered very inappropriate. Pearl pleaded with her, "Mom, how can you do this? Look, this is my dream. Why are you standing in the way of it? There's an audition at the church tomorrow, and I want to participate. I promise that if I'm not selected, I will never mention dancing again." But her mom still refused, saying, "No, you're not going anywhere." This led to an argument between Pearl and her mother. When Pearl wouldn't listen, her mom scolded her and even slapped her. The fight escalated, and during the commotion, Pearl's mom's clothes caught fire. The flames quickly spread, burning all her clothes. Both Pearl and her mom were terrified by the situation. Pearl quickly grabbed hot water and extinguished the flames on her mom's clothes, but her mom was badly burned. Pearl hurriedly dragged her to the basement and locked her in there. Then Pearl went to the theater, where she met the director again. Feeling alone and distraught, she hugged him. They talked for a long time, and she spent the night with him. The next morning, as Pearl was about to head home, the director stopped her and offered to give her a ride. She agreed, and soon she was in the car with him on her way home. Along the route, she saw a soldier. Since the war had ended, many soldiers were returning to their homes. Pearl thought to herself that this must mean her husband was also on his way home. Once she arrived, she invited the director inside. She told him, "I live here alone with my dad," but she didn't mention her mom. She then showed him her room and the rest of the house. The director was surprised to see how disorganized and cluttered everything was. The sound of knocking was coming from the basement repeatedly. When the director inquired about it, Pearl explained, "I've locked my dog in the basement because it keeps running away whenever I let it outside." Noticing that the director seemed uncomfortable, Pearl decided to distract him by taking him to the shed where she kept all her animals. She began introducing each animal to him. The director asked, "And what's the name of your dog?" Pearl replied without thinking, "I don't have a dog." This contradicted what she had said earlier about locking her dog in the basement. The director noticed the inconsistency, which made Pearl feel uneasy. When Pearl realized her mistake, she remained calm for a moment, feeling embarrassed. The director also felt uneasy after noticing her reaction. He said, "Okay Pearl, I'm going now. I have some important work to attend to. In the meantime, practice your dance so you can perform well at the audition." After hearing the director mention that he was leaving, Pearl became worried that he might have doubts about her. She feared he might tell others about what he had seen, which could put her in danger. In a fit of anger, she asked, "Why are you talking about leaving all of a sudden? Have you seen something here?" The director reassured her, saying, "No, I haven't seen anything. Just stay calm. I have some work to attend to, which is why I'm leaving." Despite his assurances, Pearl didn't believe him and began shouting. Seeing her reaction, the director became frightened. He quickly got into his car and prepared to leave. But then Pearl went outside and drove a sharp shovel into his chest. Blood began to gush out quickly, and his condition worsened so rapidly that he died. Pearl did this to ensure that he couldn't reveal her true nature after leaving. Although the director found her behavior odd, he hadn't had serious suspicions about her. Then she laid him on the ground and struck his head with the shovel. After this, Pearl went to the basement, attacked her mom with a knife and killed her as well. Her mom, already injured, didn't stand a chance. Seeing this, her dad was deeply distressed. Pearl had become so consumed by her obsession with the audition that she couldn't think about the people in her life or the consequences of her actions. Focused solely on the audition, she began preparing herself by putting on her best clothes. But before leaving, she looked at her dad and thought that if he posed any risk of becoming a hindrance, she murders him viciously. Then she took the director's body and his car to the lake, where she pushed them both into it. Then she rode her bicycle to the church, where many other girls had arrived for the audition. There she also met her husband's sister, who told Pearl that only one girl would be selected from each city. After all the girls performed, it was Pearl's turn. She danced joyfully, but none of the judges were impressed. They didn't like her appearance or her performance because they were looking for a younger, blonde girl. So they rejected her, telling her she wasn't chosen. Despite Pearl's desperate pleas and tears, as she begged them not to dismiss her, explaining how long she had waited for this day and how much this dream meant to her, they ignored her and removed her forcibly. As she came outside, crying, her husband's sister approached and said, "Get up, Pearl, let's go home." Afterward, they both returned home. Pearl remained deeply saddened, reflecting on her actions. She realized that despite having killed 3 people to secure her place in the audition, she hadn't been selected and had been insulted instead. Her husband's sister said, "Pearl, take care of yourself. Think of me as a friend. I came here to support you." She then began talking with Pearl to offer comfort. During their conversation, the sister said, "If you need to share what's on your mind or talk about the burden in your heart, I'm here for you." Pearl replied, "I no longer have any hope of my husband returning. Even if he dies as a martyr in the war, it doesn't matter to me." Her husband's sister was quite taken aback by this response. Pearl also revealed the truth, saying, "Today, I killed 3 people in my own house. I am deeply saddened. I didn't consider the relationships I had with those I killed. I haven't even spared my family and friends." Her husband's sister became very worried and frightened by Pearl's confession, but she remained composed and sensible. She managed to keep her fear hidden, aware that Pearl was unstable and might do something harmful if she suspected her of anything. Knowing that Pearl had already killed 3 people in her madness, she continued to act calm and rational. She made an effort to convince Pearl repeatedly, trying to maintain a normal demeanor. Pearl said, "I know you were chosen in the audition because the judges wanted a girl who looked younger and had blonde hair, just like you." The sister had not yet told Pearl whether she was selected or not. Upon realizing that Pearl knew the truth, the sister became very frightened and admitted, "Yes, Pearl, you're right. I was chosen." As she spoke, she stood up and moved toward the door, preparing to leave. She says, "I'll be rewarded for being chosen. Next week, I'll go on a tour of 7 cities." Hearing this, Pearl felt intense jealousy. This was her dream, and her madness had led her to kill her entire family and the director, who was also her friend. But today, her husband's sister was about to live out that dream. This made Pearl very jealous. She managed to get outside and started to leave, but Pearl followed her, wielding an axe. Seeing the axe, the sister became terrified and tried to escape to save her life, but she couldn't run far. Pearl, who had been relentlessly pursuing her, finally catches up to her. She drives the axe into her waist and kills her. Afterward, she sits at the table with her mom and dad, just like every day, and prays. Her mom and dad are in front of her, not alive, but dead, because she has kept their lifeless bodies in front of her. Pearl was crying here as well. At this point, she was completely unhinged, but deep down, she regretted her actions, realizing that in pursuit of her dream, she had made so many huge mistakes. Her mom had always told her, "My daughter, don't dream too big. Appreciate what you have, live happily, and be grateful. Focus on making the best of what you already have." But in her quest to fulfill her dream, she lost so much that she ended up killing 4 people in her obsession. In the end, she drove herself to madness. In this state of insanity, she wants to create the perfect family and starts waiting for her husband to return. The next day, her husband arrived and was taken aback when he saw Pearl's mom and dad's dead bodies lying on the table. Before he could understand anything, Pearl approached him with an eerie smile on her face and said, "You're here at last. I've waited so long for you. I've always waited for you. Come, let's eat." Although Pearl was smiling, it seemed like she was trying to hide her pain. From this story, we learn a valuable lesson. We shouldn't chase our dreams so intensely that we end up losing everything we already have. Additionally, a person should be practical and grounded in reality. And that's how the story of the movie comes to an end.